Shit. Chilling.
How you been? How you been?
You know, another day. I'm chilling.
You're in Texas, right?
Nah, in Atlanta.
You where?
Atlanta.
Oh, all this time I thought you was in Texas.
Nah.
How's Atlanta treating you?
Everywhere's beautiful to me. I can't be mad.
I miss Atlanta. I used to live there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Megan's here. Where's Shovo?
He was late. He was probably on time. Yeah.
Hey, girl.
Hey,
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Top of the week, Monday.
For real.
Are you back?
Yeah, I'm home.
Oh, thank God. I'm glad
I
you made it.
know, me too, for real. It was
I
a
know that had to
nightmare.
be
Yeah, it really was a nightmare. I was definitely nervous the whole time. Um, my flight was delayed, and then I missed my second flight, so they had to give me a new one. And it was just like, oh my God, there was so much going on in the airport. It was crazy.
Oh my God. Did everybody look nervous?
Yes and no. I feel like the workers were very relaxed, but there was definitely like I don't know. I feel like a lot more I don't know. There was some weird energy in the air, but I feel like more people were worried about losing their jobs um than a plane crashing on them or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Really? Like, did the people? Hey, Shovo.
What's going on?
Good. Long time no see.
That's crazy
Yo,
busy.
I
What's
know.
going on, B?
popping with you, but
It's tired. Fatherhood is on the horizon, so
I know.
my mind's all over the place.
yeah. I'm on the other end of that. My son's about to graduate.
Thank
He's
you,
about
thank you.
to
What's good, Rose?
Oh hey.
we thought you left the group because you removed yourself from the group.
I mean, it's a lot of, yeah, stuff that it's like, I'm not trying to get that all on my notifications and stuff, so that's why I left.
Oh,
It's,
okay. I don't blame you. I don't know if it was like the whole Justin thing, but you know.
it's a big part of it.
Um, I don't know what's going on with Justin right now. He seems like he's like mad at me. That's the only thing I can say. I don't really know why. He didn't say why, but he removed himself, unfollowed me, and deactivated the other page all in like a matter of seconds. So I don't know. I didn't bother asking him why because I'm like, okay, you know, it is what it is.
Y'all deep.
Who's the
Y'all intermingling is deep.
me? Who, me and Justin? No, no, we're just friends.
That has to be. Because you chose the wrong side and then he cut you off
Okay,
purposely.
you know what happened? Or um,
In the
well,
moment you chose the wrong side, he was going demon time, and then you was like, wow. He was threatening the public. You know what I mean? He was going demon time.
there was just something that just couldn't send him on. I was just like, I don't even know what to say. You know, like it doesn't sit right with me. You know what I'm saying? Like it was going a little too far. I don't want his group chats to be about like drama like that. You know what I'm saying? And he was kind of upset that I wasn't defending him. I'm like, I can't defend you on the indefensible. You know? So I don't know. I stuck my ground. I guess. Yeah, but
Damn, I missed some stuff, but yeah, y'all were like getting too deep into arguing and stuff, or
yeah,
um,
I had to tell
Yeah.
her to pipe down. Like, you gotta calm down. Like, you're
Yeah,
doing
it's not
too much.
productive to be arguing. Even if we're disagreeing, like we don't like obviously I'm about abolishing the whole government and you still want to try and solve it. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean we have to be at each other's throats or whatever. You know what I mean? Like we just have to agree to disagree.
Yeah,
But
that last
yeah.
after you left, like we spent like a whole hour of just like hearing them argue. I'm like, I didn't cover anything. We didn't cover anything. We were just going back and forth about couch and Rose, and VR were arguing. I'm like, it was not productive, you know. And I can't really post that on YouTube because these are all going to be podcasts. They're going to go on Apple and Spotify and YouTube. I can't post that, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I got
Mhm.
to chop it up. Then I'm going to have to spend hours editing. You know what I'm saying? But I'll let you guys go. Like, what's on your mind? What topics did you guys want to definitely touch on?
Um. Hmm.
Well, first off, your hair is popping,
Oh,
girl. Your hair is popping.
thank you.
But I had posted about Elon Musk in the foot video. I think that's hilarious to start
Oh,
off.
yes. Tell me about it. What happened?
Um, I don't know. I guess somebody is about to lose their job. But they posted that AI video of Trump sucking Elon Musk's feet, and it was like going on for like 5 minutes straight at the HUD building, and they couldn't shut it off, so they had somebody going around unplugging the TVs.
That's hilarious.
And they still don't know who did it.
That's what they.
So I think that's so funny, but it just like kind of goes to show how much of a joke we're at with politics right now. Like it's just straight
Yeah,
trolls.
it's ridiculous. He probably whoever did it was probably like Trump probably gonna fire me eventually anyway.
Probably he's probably already. Yup, you're
Everybody
right.
getting fucking fired, man. I'm like, that's not right. They firing anybody that's a female, anybody that's black. It's very telling
Very
what this
telling.
administration is trying to do. Yeah,
Mhm.
and I saw that coming a mile away, but I'm just glad like it's so obvious now. Like you can't even argue about it. Like you see what he's doing. Like black people that was like, my brother was still trying to support him. I'm like, my brothers, I'm like, bro, I love you, but you are really stupid. Like you're really stupid. All he cares about is a check. He wanted Trump because that $1,200 check we got during COVID. He thought that was from Trump. And then when that whole $5,000 check thing that's been going around lately, he's like in the group chat telling me, my mom, and my brother, like, look, oh, we're gonna get a check. Yeah, Trump. I'm like, Junior, like you can't be that stupid, bro. Like you really can't. And I don't. He doesn't care about any of the other things that's going on right now. I'm like, you don't care about the plane crashes. You don't care that black people are getting fired left and right. HBCUs are getting defunded. We're not getting scholarships. You don't care about that.
Honestly, there's so many things. It's like, yeah, we're getting. I'll believe it when I see it, but if I get a $5,000 check, it's like, what charity am I going to have to donate this to? Because this motherfucker took away the funding for Alzheimer's research, autism research. Like
Yeah,
that shit's important. We're honestly behind with autism research
and
to begin with.
research.
For the age that we're at, like I feel like only a good 10, 20 years ago they were like, oh yeah, we should probably look into this, shouldn't we? And they're still not at, to where we need with the resources and the things that we need with autism.
Yeah.
And he's over here
So
taking funds away
I got
from
a
research.
question,
That's
right? So
crazy.
if you want to talk about autism, right? So
Hmm.
how does autism get here?
No, listen. Autism been around. The only difference is the scope of practice has gotten a lot better. A lot more studies have been shown. So there's a lot more documentation than ever in history. So it
I
looks
wouldn't
like
say it's been around. I feel like whatever they're putting into the foods
Food.
and whatever we're
Yeah, I
That's
would
what I was
say
consuming.
getting to.
TV
Yeah.
So
dinners for sure.
yeah, but
But
so it's all
re-
based in
regardless of the
economics,
fact,
it's
it's
money
here.
wise.
And we still need the funding. We
Nah,
still need the research. These
well,
children still need the resources. That
that's what
it's
I mean.
here.
I
These
think it's
children are
all
here and they still need
you.
resources.
wait,
So are you gonna get rid of? This is what I'm saying. So like
You saying that we don't need
I'm
resources
kind
for?
of like the I'm kind of a Dr. Sebi type of thought personality. So I don't think any of our medical systems do anything. We basically eat stuff that makes us sick, and then they give us medication to
Agree, but
live
that's
off
not
what's making
the
us sick.
resources that I'm talking about here. I'm talking
I
about
mean,
educational resources. How do we teach these children now? They're
right.
already here. We're not going to magically cure their autism with
No, I
anything that
hear
we
what you're
do now.
saying, but that none of that is federally controlled. So like
Yeah.
the reality of life that I think all of these voting for presidents and freaking out over the president's bill and this and that, if you don't if you're not active in your community, then you're not gonna get anything done anyway. The reality is like if you have a public school system, the teachers work for the public school system. The parents who show up to the parent teacher meetings are the ones that influence the teachers what they should do. Nobody's shutting down your school because the teacher is teaching what they decide to teach in your community. Like
But what is
that's
that funding for
because
autism?
the concept of funding for teaching about autism, like if you have autistic kids in your school, that school should be adjusting to teach about autism. That's just how it
Well,
goes.
yeah,
Like
but
that's how it should go, I should
we
say.
still need resources for these educators to learn what they're doing
Yeah,
and to know how to advocate and to know.
But that's
But
but
also,
I mean,
that's
so
right. It has
before you
always been
heard that the
here,
funding was
but we
cut,
haven't
this
always
is my
been.
question.
There has been a huge stigma with autism, any kind of mental illness. They used to just shove them in the attic. So it has always been around. It's not like it's just this magic thing that started happening. There has always been mental disabilities. We just used to shun them.
hmm
All right,
But what's the source of that though?
right.
That's
the
the problem.
source of what?
No one's attacking the source. They're just attacking the symptom or the result. And
You think you
it's
think
like
it?
whack-a-mole. It's
Yeah,
like
like I think that so like they get it off because the reality of a lot of these funding machines is before you heard that it got cut, I was gonna say, what were they doing with the money to help
They
nothing.
autistic kids?
no. The money
Like
goes to.
what I like literally, no, what were they doing to help autistic kids? Because I've never had a
They do
class
research.
in school. My son is 17. He's never had a class in school that enlightens you on your autistic classmates. Like,
You
are
you
we
know
talking
like
about all
you
of a sudden now the autistic kids are not going to be in the separate class in public schools? They're going to be in class with everybody else.
we are.
What does it change?
Talk, BR. Like Brown University, Harvard University. You know that the university it stands for the study of. Like the students there are not just doing like student work. They're actually participating in actual real studies. They study along with their professors about real life issues, and they write articles on it that get published. And these are peer reviewed publishing articles that go out to help professionals in their line of duty. So the colleges do the studies. They come up with patterns that find out if this is actually linked to this, or this is linked to that, or this theory is actually proven, or this theory is not proven. And when they come to conclusions, they write their thesis, and then all of that's peer reviewed. Everybody agrees. They publish it. They send it out. They publish it. They send it out. These are research studies. This is how we get better at things. And then they send it out so that way professionals like doctors and nurses can implement those studies into real life. So yeah, that money goes to studies. So that way we can learn about it. And then the doctors and nurses take that information and they implement it to their job. And
So
teachers.
like I get what you're
But
saying,
I
and
also agree with your point. Yeah, we should have been learning about our autistic classmates, and we should have been learning more about different children and stuff, and they weren't doing enough. But that doesn't mean they weren't still doing things like those peer reviews she's talking about. That's important. They're working with the autistic children. That stuff is important. Honestly, I'm pretty sure that my job is paid. I tutor autistic children after school. My job is paid for by the government.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that money's there for. Maybe in a month
did
or
you
two, I won't
did you
have
lose your
that
job?
job. No, not
Not
yet.
yet.
But that's what I'm saying. We don't know where that's going or where the money.
So
Also,
like
Rhode
I'm
Island is a very blue state, and we have our own resources for when the federal government holds back. We
Mm-hmm.
we kick in with our state
That
funds.
right.
was another
So
my brother was saying. I was like, Junior, like, you don't understand that women are losing their rights, right? Like, if I get pregnant, I have a chance of dying more likely now because of the stuff that Trump has did. And all he keeps saying is, so what? You shouldn't be getting pregnant by a loser anyway. You don't have to worry about an abortion. I'm like, you can't really be that lost. Are you really?
But
Did you
also,
not hear?
that's just not the
Yeah,
point. It's just not the point.
yeah, the point is that there's complications that come along with pregnancy, and since the baby has a heartbeat now, and the doctor has to choose to, like, if I'm miscarrying and I'm bleeding, the doctor has to choose to save the baby's life, or
And I
whatever.
feel like it really is mostly men that like to come up with scenarios like that, or just shoot to the most negative scenario. But it's like it's not always about that. There are women out here who are getting denied abortions for non-viable babies
Yeah,
that aren't going to live anyways, and that are going to kill them
and the,
because of sepsis. It's just very much lack of education and lack of understanding the human
yeah,
body and lack of
and my brother,
caring, really, because like I know
look at
there are a whole lot of
hey,
men that still they can't even talk about periods, like they're uncomfortable to hear about it or whatever. Like that's that mentality shit. That's where the lack of education comes from, like them wanting to ignore that shit. That's why I very much teach my son about periods. Like he's very comfortable, like this is what a tampon is, great, very like, because they need to be comfortable with that shit, period. It's just
but my thing is, what he said was, so what? We don't live in a red state. I'm like, so you don't care because we live in a blue state, so I'll be safer. So what about all the other people that live in red states? He had nothing to say. I'm like, see, that's the problem with these people.
Well, I
Like,
mean, I'm living in a red state, and I know
they
somebody who just got an abortion.
like it's still happening to people, and that means it's going to trickle down eventually to us. You know what I'm saying?
Like I
So just
said, yo, at the end of the day, though,
hmm?
like people control their community. This whole concept that like this is affected, this is affected. Like to me, it exposes all the real bad people. So it's like if you are in a red state and you need an abortion, there's somebody that's doing them.
Mhm.
No, they're getting in trouble, and now
I
Texas
mean,
even trying
no,
to
they're not, because the people that need it aren't going to tell on
without
them. Like
getting
this is the
that.
way society's always moved. I don't understand why.
Like this
Like especially as
countless
minorities.
politicians, there's countless
it's
Yeah, like
politicians who be
dangerous
having
to
that on the
move
low.
that way because people are still in danger of either getting the fines or losing their license to
I mean, I
operate. And
hear what you're
we
saying, but like
shouldn't have
reality's
to.
reality
It's
right now.
reality, but that shouldn't be reality. We shouldn't have to
Yeah,
live under that
but
type of
what is living
life.
in all your energy spent in the shoulda instead of like I'm gonna,
I,
because it is
I,
what it is.
so you don't care that you're seeing a higher mortality rate when pregnant
But
I
women
mean,
than any.
it's not.
first
Um,
of
It is
all,
what it is. Like
first of
10 years
all,
it's
ago,
so
this wasn't
unnecessary.
the situation. So
first of
like,
all,
just it
to
changed.
get
Everything changed, and you're like, oh, it is what it is now. Like we can't think that way.
what do you mean? No,
Why
you
would you think
literally
that
work in
way?
schools. Hold on, you work in schools,
I didn't say
and
I
you're
work in schools. I said I tutor children after
all right,
school.
cool. You tutor children after school as a job,
Uh
right? You're
huh.
hoping that you don't get the funding pulled for what you do. But the
Mhm.
reality of society is if you're tutoring autistic kids is the only way that tutoring autistic kids happens is because the government was funding you, then in reality there's not a lot of people that care to help autistic kids. And that is the bone of the issue.
No, that's not true. People
Yeah.
just
You would
people
You
help
also missed the
autistic
part
kids
where I said I
regardless
live
of
in
whether
Rhode
or not
no
you
Island.
get
people
If the
just
paid.
state
don't have the
funding would pull through and give us the funding that we need, it would just have to come from the state. But it's like, why are we picking and choosing these federal funds? This is our money. These are
I
our
mean,
tax dollars.
right, because
I
the
mean,
same reason is because not every single person has the same issue and same priority order. So in
like
reality, if the
peel it back
people
too,
in Rhode
like when
Island,
they talk about the remedial classes and special ed and stuff like that.
hmm
That's government funded too in a lot of schools too.
Yeah,
But
they're all the whole
then
public
there's a
school is
lot of people who are misdiagnosed too.
right,
So
and like she said, there's also state funding for it. And so this is my point is,
Misdiagnosing has nothing to do with the school, though. That has everything to do with your doctor.
no, but some
Um,
yeah.
of the schools, they're the ones who suggest to the parents, and parents who don't know better, they're like, okay,
yeah,
he or she can't sit down. There must be something, or maybe they're just not mentally stimulated. Maybe they find the class boring, but they can't articulate that. So they just, oh, we'll just put them in a special class,
yeah,
or
like
so.
crappy school systems and crappy teachers exist regardless of the
No,
federal funding
Yeah.
or the state funding.
and like fuck it, like it sucks anyway,
No,
which
it
is a
ain't like
terrible
fuck it. I'm saying
That
the
does,
energy should
but
be
that's
put in
exactly
the
what you
space where you
sound
can
like,
actually
though.
change something.
thing.
The
Fuck it is
energy
terrible.
the energy can't be put bitching at the president because in reality the president doesn't care about public school systems because presidents get in office humoring billionaires, so their first priority is to humor what the billionaires wanted to happen. That's a financial move. So financially it does make sense for them to go and be like, all right, we're spending this much on these little system things. They don't
So
do
you
nothing.
think
This is for
you think the
2%.
richest man on earth has the right to know everybody's damn business, social security, bank accounts, the address,
No, I don't agree with none
any
of I don't
right
agree. I don't
But
agree with it, but I don't
also,
think that.
that's like
Listen,
your point is that they weren't doing nothing, and our whole point is that they were doing something. And my first thing
who,
that I said, bringing this
whose
up,
point was who?
was
What you said? I said they
you
weren't doing
literally just
nothing.
said that. You
Who
literally just said that all these
said
things
who's
aren't
they
doing
though?
nothing, so
Who's
let me
they?
pull the funding.
Who's
That's what you just
they?
said. You
I
literally just
said
said that.
people,
So whatever.
right?
My first point, I'm not going to explain any of that because those were your words. That's exactly
Yeah,
what you
I
just
said
said.
you're
My
not gonna
first
tutor the
point
kids if
was
you're not getting
we
paid.
are already behind with the resources. We're already behind with, so why would we want to go back further? Why would we
yeah,
that doesn't
we're
make
going
sense.
backwards.
You're like, oh, it's
Nobody
not
said
doing
that
nothing,
we
but that's
want
not
to.
true. It
Like,
has been
why does
doing something.
why does somebody who doesn't feel like bitching about what already happened is not progressive? Because I feel that I'm now agreeing with the people that made everything wrong. That don't go hand in hand. It's not reality. I'm saying stop bitching about something that's a truth in stone. Like Trump's the president. I don't know what plan you got to get him out of office, but they are. He's the president. He got Elon the dummy and the little computer nerds doing whatever they do. So in
See,
reality, the only way you can really respond is to become tighter with your state system, meaning you got to go to your school and be active now to make sure the teachers are still teaching African American history.
yeah, but
If your kids in that school, they teach history, they should still be talking about Martin Luther King, even though it's not called African American history. So like I'm not gonna say the school, but I work for a college. They dropped DEI. They had DEI system programs set up in the school. They have to change the name of those programs now. They're not firing the people and getting rid of them. They're changing the name of the program. So it's not called DEI, whatever, whatever.
they can't
Like that's how you gotta
firing
function.
black people though. They're going in and you know how you
I
have to
know they're firing mad federal employees.
apply for a
They,
job and
I
you have
watched the white guy crying on the internet
yeah,
too, talking about how he
they're
got fired from his federal
not
job.
supposed to meet a
Yeah,
quota.
there's mad federal employees getting fired.
They're supposed to meet a quota. Like there's supposed to be a certain amount of people that are diverse that are not all white male. Okay, so they could just go in there and just say, take out any gender, start with the gender, take out female, take out black, take out anything that
I know
would be considered
it's foul. That's what they're doing. It's foul.
firing all these black people. It's not a
It's
coincidence. It's not.
listen. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that is the reality now. So how do you respond to it?
That's what we're gonna talk.
That's what I'm
That's the whole
trying to get
point.
to. I'm saying literally, you got to start with your state and you got to be more attached to what's going on in your community. So that
Yeah,
the
but
teacher who's not going to teach about Martin Luther King because Donald Trump said no more DEI, you got to get that teacher out of the school somehow. You got to deal with the principal, et cetera, et cetera. Like, why is that a confusing concept for black people? We just bitch out loud about the president and think that that's going to change
I
something. That ain't
don't know.
changing nothing.
I don't know what in
I know,
what
I don't know what he's
but
looking for either. We just went around in circles a little
because
bit. But
no that question. She
Like the
just
comment said, not anymore. They did away with
looked
affirmative
at
action.
being
They
left
won't
behind. That's
hire the black people. They'll hire whoever the most qualified for the job. If the black person isn't experienced at the job, he gets hired. That's what
yeah.
that person said. Like they're not
Not,
playing the game no more. So you know that. So how you gonna respond knowing that?
I don't understand how you guys don't realize that the whole reason why there needed to be DEI was because of unfair employment.
Yeah,
They were only
but
staffing
you looked at the
and I
stats
don't
of
know why we're
DEI
because
assuming that
white.
people
mainly for
are
white
hiring
women. You know that, right?
unqualified candidates anyways. Like, I've never been hired for a job because I wasn't qualified, like, or
No,
just
that's just
because
the excuse they
that
use
Yeah,
I've
it's
because
always an
obviously,
excuse. Everybody gets their job in the friend circle.
yeah.
You don't get your job because of your points unless you work in finance, legal, or medical. You don't get your job because of points. You get your job because of who you know.
I mean, not all jobs.
I
I mean,
mean,
I
I
Even
that
definitely didn't
90%.
know
Get out of
anybody
here.
at my
Crazy.
job when I was hired. I was just
What,
hiring
you,
because they
you're a
thought I was a
teacher.
nice
That's
person.
why teachers, police officers, firefighters don't really get paid a lot, even though they should, because those are jobs that just anybody gets hired for that meets a little certain criteria. Any job where you actually gonna get some real money in that job, it's a who you know job for the most part, unless it requires a high level of education, like somebody who works in
or
finance, somebody who works in legal, somebody who works in engineering, somebody who works in tech. Other than that, like
yeah, you
what
don't
construction job are you getting? Because
stripping away our rights that Black
Yeah,
people
now
fought
that's how it's
for.
gonna
We
go,
fought for
like they
this.
used to do in the freaking 80s with the mafia and
Over a
shit.
pen.
Because
Now,
everybody's like, oh yeah, whoops, yeah, it's just
we
something
fought for
stupid.
that. That's already ours. It shouldn't be just taken back just because he feels like it. That's
it
not.
shouldn't be.
I
So that's what my point is. So
fought for that
if you work in the state
so we
of
can have
Connecticut or Rhode
a
Island,
chance
wherever you
to
work
break
at, you
stupid.
need to make sure that the people who are managing, in charge, and functionality are actually doing it the right way and not the way the president said, or else you're in the wrong
What
space.
this election has showed me is that there's a lot more racist people than we even thought there was. We thought
I
we
think
had.
there's a lot more dumb people than y'all are trying to give credit
Yeah,
for.
there are dumb people, but they also voted because of racism. They voted against their interests because of racism. They voted to end Obamacare because of racism, and then had to find out that they are the biggest beneficiaries of Obamacare, of food stamps, of housing, of DEI, for God's sake. They didn't think about that because why? They were racist. So now, if you take away DEI and these racist people happen to be the boss or the CEO of a job that you're applying for,
Right.
he has the right to
Quinn, I
discriminate
adore you, but I
on a
respectfully disagree.
huh?
Nothing. Just responding to Quinn down there because I
I
respectfully
don't think
disagree. Like, what
what Quinn
about
is
there
saying
being
though.
more Black people and more females? Like, that doesn't mean
Yo,
that
it,
it
first
was
of all, like
unqualified?
you gotta do math numbers. First of all, DEI help white women more than anybody else, and then
And
after that, like black people were like the sixth on the list of people that it helped. So like, no, go
Maybe.
look it
I
up.
feel like white
That's
women
real.
already had jobs though. They were already.
No, literally look up who
no,
DEI helps. Like if you want to talk about something, don't just say that some random thought like,
I
oh, white
have
women
looked
already
up who
had jobs.
DEI
No,
helps. You
white
know who
women were sitting
DEI
at
helps?
home
It actually helps the disabled more than anybody. It helps the disabled
and
and people with
veterans. Yeah, you're
autism
right
and
about that. Yeah.
people who still deserve jobs. They still deserve jobs in all
I mean,
fairness.
that's beautiful, but like, there's also a reality to it. If I own a construction company, I'm not hiring a disabled person.
I don't think a disabled person is going to
Well,
apply at a
Right,
construction company.
but
Let's
at
be
the end
real.
of
depend
the
on the
day,
position.
Let's be
It
at
real.
the
depend on the
Stay in
end of the
position.
reality.
day,
Stay in
at the end
reality.
of the day, how many
Stay
jobs
in
can
reality.
hold on? How many jobs can a handicapped person do that I can't hire a teenager to do for less
Why,
money?
why would you want to hire a
their brain,
teenager over
their
a
brain.
perfectly qualified disabled whoever, a person in a
I
wheelchair
just told you
can answer your
because if I
phones
own the
and
business,
have a
it's
more
cheaper.
professional conversation than a
Who
teenager
answering the
would?
phone? What do you?
Like,
First of all, like now you're getting very specific to the
very
handicapped
specific.
person answering the
Yes,
phone.
yes,
So if
because
it's
there
just
are
answering
there are
phones,
so
so
many jobs
every
that a
phone call
disabled person
service
can
should be
take,
run
and
by a
phone
disabled
service
person.
is usually one of them. Cashier is usually one of them. Why? It's just like,
So you should
what
cater
mentality
society
is
to the
that of being
disabled.
like,
You
oh
should.
yeah,
So
this
how
teenager
big?
is going to do
Let
a
me ask you
better
a
job
question.
than this
Are there
perfectly
more? Are
qualified
there more
30-year-old
poor?
man?
Hold on. Are there more poor teenagers or disabled adults that need a job answering phones?
I think they're both equal, but also, why would teenagers need jobs? But most of them have parents. Like, for the majority,
I mean,
a lot of teenagers
most of adults
have.
have somebody in their family who can take care of them in their house when they're that old and right. Most of
No,
them. If you want to speak
no,
in generals,
actually,
what you
that's not
mean?
true. That's sadly, that's very untrue. Sadly, no. A lot of disabled people are on their own. They live
Mhm.
on their own. They don't have parents anymore because most of them have died and had to leave them. They don't
All
have
the
children.
disabled
They're
people's
on.
parents
Most of
and
them
the
are on their
children don't.
own.
Yeah.
Most of the disabled, you have a
And
statistic that matches that, or is that just your emotions talking because you're
No,
around a
that's
lot
not
of them?
my emotions. I am very much into statistics. I look this
So
shit up
tell me
all
the
the time.
statistic on it.
Also, I work with
Tell me, just
homeless
Google
people.
it real
I've
quick.
worked with
Google it
people
on your
in
computer.
nursing homes. I know this. I've seen it with experience.
Okay. Like I
Most
said,
people who are
I don't see it.
disabled, they don't have anyone.
yeah.
I
Megan,
hear you
let
talking.
you. I'm telling you, he will troll you
It's
to
not
no
about
end.
It
rolling. It's the
is a
reality
little
that like
bit though. At this
is.
point,
people
you can't be
people will
serious.
people will get
We
emotionally
can
tied into things that are closer
disagree
to their life,
on.
but their life might not be the majority of the reality of the population. Like there's millions of people that live in America. So because you work in a specific small bracket, you might be emotionally attached to
Statistically,
that, and
though,
that's
we're
cool.
talking about statistics. Go look
What
up the
statistics are
statistics
you
if you
talking
need
about?
to. Go
I'm
ahead,
guarantee
Google
you.
is free, baby.
Okay,
You can look
so
up
check
this
this
stuff
out.
all day
So
long.
then this is gonna hurt your
Most
feelings.
disabled people,
Every
adults, are
minority,
on their
every
own.
minority and disabled person is the super minority compared to the white man and white woman, right?
No, no,
No, there's
no,
more disabled and
no,
minorities than
no,
white men and
no.
women. That's what you're telling me.
Combine all the
All
Hispanics,
the minorities
Black,
and Hispanics and blacks.
and
Okay, yeah, together there's
Jews,
more than white
and
people.
we make
But
more
she's talking about
majority.
all
When
the
you're
DEI, all the DEI people, when the majority of them start at white women. You got to remove them, right?
no, we gotta
I
remove
didn't
No, you can keep
say
them
that.
in. You talking about the people that benefit from DEI.
all right.
I
We're
said
gonna
the majority of DEI hires that has been helping was disabled. I never
That's
said
not
anything
true,
about removing
though.
women.
White women is
It
the
is true.
majority of DEI
That
hires,
I'm
though.
sorry if you need to go look that up.
No,
That's
you go
I
look it up
apologize.
because
I
I
don't need
know
to
it's a
look it up.
fact.
I already know. I very much have looked it up. I know the
So
statistics.
you
I
know
know
you're
how it
wrong.
is. I no
DEI hires more white women than anything else. You do know that. That's a fact.
no.
No, that's true. That's
You
true.
do know that. That's why you don't want to answer like that.
What do
That's
you
true.
mean?
But
I
what
want
is
to answer like that. I answered like 20
No,
times.
we
I
because
already
you
stand by
know
my
keep
that?
trying to move
answer.
it to
But
handicap people, and it's just not true.
it
It
does.
helps more white women than it does
So
anybody
you say
else.
just get rid of it because it helps
I'm
mostly
not
white.
saying get rid of it. I'm saying they already got rid of it. So what are you going to do to
What
respond to
is
that?
what
That's
is
what I'm
your
saying.
bottom line, VR?
Huh?
What are you end with
My
about this?
point is that like the majority of people who seem to act like they care about these things are not really people who would act on a level to save their community anyway, because they just like to complain out loud, especially on social media. So like if you, like I said, would you do what you do
How do you
for
know
free?
that?
I don't know that. I'm just saying, I'm saying because I watch a lot of people complain, but when you be like,
Yeah,
yo,
but
so what are you
are
gonna
you
do
with
in the
them in their
community?
day-to-day
It's
life?
confusing.
Like you're just assuming on
No,
social media that
Yeah.
people aren't like tapped
I
in with
asked
their
you a specific
communities.
question. I said if
What?
you were gonna tutor the autistic kids, would you do it for free if they pulled the funding?
Absolutely. I love my client.
And
He
so
lives literally right
my
next
initial
door.
my initial
But
statement
also, you
was,
don't know what people do in their communities. I have done way more than I needed to in my community myself. So it's like I love how people love to assume that people don't do stuff for their communities, but that's what are you doing for
well,
your
I
community?
feel like the people that are worried about Trump are people that aren't really
And
in
I
their
feel
community
like
meshed in a
people
lot.
that like you that beat around the bush aren't actually doing anything for their community either.
I
Like,
mean,
what are you doing?
that's
What
cool.
do you do for
I
your
don't do
community?
anything.
Okay.
I sell drugs and make
So
niggas shoot at
so
people.
you're over here projecting. You're over here projecting.
I mean, you believe what you want to believe. That
Okay.
That
wasn't
I
the
no,
point.
you just said it. I don't have to believe it. You just admitted it. You're over
I
here projecting.
admitted it. You just
You
I was
admitted it. You
joking.
said
That
you
was
do
a funny
nothing for
joke.
your community, and
I
you're over here like I
did
feel like
nothing.
people don't do nothing for their communities.
I
What
didn't
are
say
you
that.
talking
I
about?
said I feel like the people who complain about the president and are worried about the
Okay,
president, it's
you're
because
but
it's
that's
you're just
hypocritical
cutting
because
me
you're
off.
not
Go ahead.
doing nothing for your community.
You right. Like you want me to go down a list of things to make you feel
What? No,
better about what I
I
have
don't
to
need
say.
to make myself feel better. You should be doing. If you're over here talking about people not doing stuff for their communities and you're doing nothing, then what
Who
the fuck are you
said I'm
complaining
doing?
about? You said
Who
it.
said I'm doing nothing?
You
No,
just
I mean
said
it
it. You
was a
said I do
joke, and you
nothing
want to
but
run
sell
with the joke.
drugs,
I said sell drugs and shoot people. I'm saying that on live. I
and I
was
know
real
that's
about that.
sarcasm.
So,
But also,
so then why you keep saying that's what I do? So
who
you
is
taking sarcasm and turning it
because that's
true?
exactly what you said. I'm just repeating your words, baby. I'm just saying what you said.
1 to 10,
Like I'm
Yeah.
saying. So
or are you
at
So
the end of the
whatever.
day, you'll
letting
Whether
me
be
you do
tutoring the
stuff for your
autistic
community or
kids
not,
for
Yeah.
I don't
free.
care.
So
But
in
That's,
it's
your
very
community, there's
hypocritical
no
of you to
reason to
be
worry
all
about
like,
it.
oh, I feel like people against Trump aren't doing nothing. Like, what are you doing? Like, come on, be serious though. You anyway.
okay,
Next
1 to
topic.
10, of
Megan.
which
You
groups
know
typically
he's
benefit
gonna
the
troll
most
you.
from DEI
It's not
I
trolling
know,
though.
based
and
on
I
I
don't really
asked what are you
care.
gonna do
and
when
their
they cut federal funding because they already did it.
Just because you're not directly impacted by it,
I'm
VR, does
asking
not mean
about a
Does not
solution.
make it
I'm
disappear. Okay, it's a real.
asking for somebody who likes to bitch a lot
It's
to
not a
give a
real.
solution.
It's the same.
Who?
Hell, a solution.
Don't have
Because I'm
Anybody.
not a
for
person that likes to
losing their
bitch
right.
a lot. That's not what I'm doing. That's not what's happening
So that
here. That's
let
very
me see a
disrespectful
solution.
of you. We're
What's the
here
solution?
having a discussion on politics. That's not me bitching. That's what we
So
came
then
here.
I'm
We came here
asking
to have a
politically, what
discussion.
should you do since they cut the funding? What should
If
you do?
anybody's bitching, it would be BR because he seems to want to disagree.
Exactly. That's like what? What are you talking
But,
about?
but I don't want to go there. I want to just agree to disagree and move on to
Ask the
the topic.
question. Answer the
I
question.
can't be on here too long. I have to leave by at least 10:15. So we got to just keep it going.
Go.
Next topic. Shovo, I'll let you have the floor. You've been kind of quiet.
I'm always quiet. I'm just absorbing everything.
Drew
Yeah,
said
just
send letters to Congress. That's real.
yeah.
Oh,
Well, yeah, like I could take pieces from what everyone's saying. Like on one hand, yes, the situation we're in, it doesn't seem like it's changing. So what can we do? I get with that. On the other hand, in terms of going back to the whole funding and everything, like if the funding was taken away, you said, Rose, you said that you would definitely volunteer, but that's not the majority. Let's keep it 100. A lot of people, they're doing what seems to be the right thing because there's a financial benefit for it. So if you were to remove that, like, would it actually help out the children who actually need it, or would they just fall to the wayside? You know what I mean? So
Why
I don't know. It's just
remove funding for autistic children
mhm.
and just be like sitting here defending it? Like, oh, well, it wasn't doing much anyways. Like, it has been doing stuff. I
yeah,
see it every week when I go to work. It works. It's been working.
yeah.
Tutoring my child has been working.
And you do know,
So
like
it's like
early.
that's the least that we can be doing. So for anybody to be sitting here like, oh yeah, whatever, the funds don't work, like just let them take them.
The thing about the problem I have with BR and Shovel with this whole fuck it attitude is you guys don't get the great scheme of things. He's chipping away at people's rights. And until it affects you, you seem to not care that much.
I didn't say I
Like
didn't care. I'm
Yeah,
just
nobody
saying
said it didn't care. I got
if this is
autistic
the
kids in my family. It's
situation
not
and we
about that.
can't do nothing to change it,
no, but
what are we
that's
going to do to traject it? What are we going to do to combat it so that we're okay? As
Thank you.
opposed to, damn, Trump is shit. Yeah, we know Trump is an asshole. We get that. He's not going to stop being an asshole. He's going to continue being an asshole. So what are we going to
okay,
do?
but
You know?
this whole fucking attitude is how tyranny happens. It's how a becomes a
We're
dictator.
not saying fuck it, we're not gonna do nothing. We're gonna say it's a fucked up situation. Call it what it is. Now, what are we gonna do to try to move forward from
People
it?
are
That's what.
protesting. They're
Yeah.
protesting their ass off. There's a protest going on in every city right about now. There's a protest
Protesting
going on.
doesn't work if
Oh no,
there's an
no, it
attack
works.
financial
Do you know
pockets.
how
If it
protest works? Like if only 3% of the country protested and boycotted, it would put the government economy into a frenzy, and they would have to listen to
boycotting is
it.
different though.
Only
You said protesting. Protesting is calling to action. Hey, we have a fucked up problem here. Everybody, look at this fucked up problem. Okay. Now the boycotting, that's actually going to affect people's
yeah,
pockets.
and
Like
that's another thing I wanted to mention. The boycotting is happening this week, I believe, February 28th.
what exactly are they going to boycott? Like, where they're not going to show up to work on? Like, what exactly are they going to boycott?
Let me show you. I'm gonna go straight to it because I don't want to say the wrong thing. But we should all get on top. Economic blackout Friday, February 28th for 24 hours from midnight to midnight. Spend no money at all at Walmart, Target, Amazon, or any chains. No gas, no fast food, no online shopping, and buy local. Only buy local and small for 24 hours this Friday. Can we
No.
do? Can we do it?
Collectively, it's not going to happen, sadly. Can it be done? Yes. Will it be done?
But
That's a whole other situation.
But if I'm talking to you, Shovo, and you know that now, are you going to try?
Oh, yeah, because I work that day anyway, so I'm not going to do any shopping anyway.
No
So,
shopping. So
Yo,
go
so
fill
here's my
up
question, right?
before.
So here's my question. If since I like offered a resolution that everybody starts, it is like heavy on their community. So like if you went up to the people that you know in your community that manage Walmart and told them and their workers to all take a vacation day the same day and call their boss and say, yo, I got COVID, I can't come in, so they could try to save their job. Wouldn't that be more effective?
No, no, you don't get it. It's not about the worker. It's about the consumers. It's about
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
no, it really
big
is also about the workers. Like, we need workers to actually stop showing up.
yeah,
We
but
need
that's
people
part of
that
that.
are willing to take
that's what
the
I'm
day,
saying.
take
Like
a pay cut for the day, take to not. We need the operation to actually have to shut down. Like,
it
oh
all
shit!
goes
Like,
back to
it can't
home.
just
It
be
goes back to home
consumers.
base,
Yeah,
right?
but
It goes back to your where you live in your community.
the thing about when it's just the workers should just quit, you're asking people to stop their livelihood.
Not about
And
quit.
it's about,
Workers need to protest as well. Like, yo, they can't fire you if the whole team showed up at the
right.
protest. We
But
need
then they
more
Yeah.
want
people willing to do that.
And like Quinn said, the reality is it's big business in America. So the boss who runs Walmart will say fire all of them, and unfortunately, they'll restock them now with Trump in office with all the people who don't live near that Walmart from the wherever else, and they'll just restock. And that's why people repeat the same sentiment. Like it's an easy replaceable person. Like you just said, you could replace him with all the handicapped people. He'd get a perk off that. Then you'd be happy if they killed the Walmart, they went on the Walmart strike, they fired all the people, but then he went and Trump was like, you know what, I'm gonna hire all the handicapped people that I stopped giving funding to in the Walmart. And then you'd
yeah.
be kind of content again. And
And
that's how the higher
it's like,
powers juggle society because people don't, act out motion heavily in their community. Like when me and my friends get rich, it's me and my friends getting rich. And what we do is to up our space. If everybody in the community moved like that, it would be better. But instead, historically, people sell out quick. You make a clothing line in the black community until you put Louis Vuitton on it, nobody in the black community buys it like that. And then when they do, Louis Vuitton buys it and it's no more your clothing line. Like that's what we do in repeat. So like until everything starts inside house,
Look,
I don't get
these are the
complaining to the
uh,
president for
economic.
what.
It's economic pressure. When a significant number of consumers stop buying a product or service, the result loss of revenue can compel a company or organization to rethink its policies or practices, which they do because they got rid of DEI. Public awareness, okay, boycotts often generates media coverage and social media buzz, which amplifies the pressure. Organize and sustain action. Effective boycotts are typically well organized and clear demands and strategies. Sustained effort over time can force the target to address the underlying issue. And that's exactly what Martin Luther King did. None of them rode the bus for I think 16 months. And they had to listen to what the blacks were talking about.
Right. Like Dre say, what if you lost your job tomorrow? Would you be good for the next 90 days off what's in your bank?
hmm,
How many
that's
people
tough.
on this chat would be good for 90 days if you lost your job
Nah,
with what's good on your bank?
I can honestly say nah.
Joe's having a kid. He's not trying to deal with that. I
Nah,
could, but I'm in a unique position. But could you?
A strike is one thing, but a boycott is is
You
is
not
is
hearing me. Why are you dodging the question?
you
That's what somebody in the chat asked. If you lost
I,
your job
I would
tomorrow, would you
my
be good
job,
for
but
the
I'm
next
telling
90 days
you now
off what's
what I'm
in your
talking
bank?
about. We're talking about boycotting buying.
All of these
Not
boycotting and strikes, that's what it comes with. If you boycott Walmart long enough, all the people that work there don't got a job.
okay, and then that's going to have to make them realize that they have to address
Yeah,
the
but
issue.
while you're making them realize that's the majority of your community. Like we not all NBA players and football
I
players. Like
disagree. Like, boycotts don't work like that, and a lot of these, like especially Walmart, ain't gonna have to fire people, or
I
it
mean, you
doesn't matter
hope
how
that it
long it
don't
goes.
work like
If
that.
people boycotted for Walmart for 2 to 3 months, they would still be fine. They would just have to cave.
I mean, if this was 100 years
A
ago,
mom
we
and
could
pop
still go to
shop,
Mattapan
however,
Square
if people
and the and
are
the and the
boycotting
old
a mom
ladies
and
were
pop
still
shop,
putting the
that would
road
put them
food.
under. But Walmart, especially, can
Uh,
take it.
Walmart stocks have already crashed because black people have stopped going there, and Target's stock market is crashing because black people have stopped going there. So it does work. And then if you put in a whole 24-hour blackout on top of that,
Right.
yeah, that's going to cripple them. They could lose billions in one day. Yeah.
But
they're gonna have to.
that's across the country though. That's not in one
That,
particular
no, that
location.
this boycott is a nationwide effort. I'm not. That's the boycott I just mentioned is going on nationwide. That's not just here. That's going on nationwide. Everybody's going to black out on Friday. No Amazon, no Walmart, no Target, no online.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful unification. And then what?
And then they're gonna have to answer to our demands.
Well,
That's what. Because
here's the thing.
What is the
It's only
demand?
for that one day, and then everything goes back to normal Saturday, like nothing happened. Because then that's not really a
if,
big impact. If they know,
if
like, oh, it's only
Well,
gonna
that,
last for
but
this
not
time, and then
even that. Like, how many people
I
can
don't know,
afford
because
to not shop
people
at
have
Walmart
been
for the next
boycotting
year?
Target all month. Like, it hasn't just been the day. It's been like a month and a half now.
the stock
Target
market,
expensive anyway.
huh?
Target
Exactly.
expensive anyway,
Yeah,
but it's like
crashing.
it's a continuation. It's not just a one day thing or a few hours thing because it's like going back to the whole in the South when they boycotted the bus. That wasn't like we're just not gonna ride the bus for a week.
Right.
That was an ongoing
Yeah,
thing
and not only
until
that, yeah, it
It
started
started
in the circle. It
started with
started in the community.
our
That's when we still were living in our own community. So
yeah
literally, the same buses where they picked up all the black people had no people. It's the same.
yeah
So it's very
collectively.
noticeable. The whole shift of buses got no
Yeah.
people all of a sudden.
Can
It's
I
not the
just hold
same.
on 1 minute? I just want to know, not that I agree or disagree because I really don't care, but the last person said Trump was the lesser evil than Kamala. I'm glad Kamala isn't in office. And I just want to know, Quinn, why? Why do you personally think that?
what is it? What did you say?
I mean,
Um,
yo, there's two
his
sides to
last
every coin. Because I feel motivation wise, that person's right.
I honestly, I felt that either way was going to be a shit show. I felt that they were
Yeah.
equally terrible options.
Hmm.
Um,
This shit show
but I
wipes the
do
doodle in your
feel
face.
that Kamala would have not nose fucking dived the country in the first couple of weeks is all. Like they've been running very shady for the past 100 years or so, and I just feel like she would have maintained the same level of shadiness. Where the only thing about Trump is he's out in the open, like showing the true colors of the government all along. Like
Yeah.
that's just the only.
And it makes the
I
Um.
don't
bad guy come out of the closet and show their face with him. They go, yeah, Trump, and they start
So
throwing their Hail Hitlers.
off right now.
The
So
salute.
yeah, if Quinn, if you're there, if you feel like responding, I just wanted to know what the answer was. But yeah,
Where do you guys keep getting that Kamala is this evil person? Like
It's
where
not
I
do
about
you
wouldn't
guys?
any. I
say
mean,
she's evil.
she's
what
not
Quinn's
evil,
talking about
but fuck the
World War
police.
Three
But
is
where do you?
not because she's
Is it
evil, it's
a
because she's nice.
prosecutor? Like
Well,
really? She's a
he's talking
prosecutor.
about because she's nice. She would have got bullied by all
She's
these
definitely
people that's
her
trying to
She's
career
a
change.
wasn't
prosecutor. How is
like
she
she's
nice?
definitely locked up innocent black men just to meet her quota
No,
as well. So
Megan.
I just feel that
No,
it's
that's not true. And we actually covered that in one of the last shows, like a month back. Remember, Shogo? We talked about that myth that she did
It
not.
wasn't a myth, but I wouldn't say she's directly responsible, but she was definitely part of
like
that
she's
whole
obviously a part of it, and it's not going to be just her. It's going to be a team, and she's got
of
to pressure to
course,
do
yeah.
her job.
That's
But
how
that's still what it is. Like we
it
10
was
years
was
ago, we were
created.
marching for to defund the police. And now we're going to support a police officer as our
So
president. Like
we're
it
gonna
just doesn't
support.
make sense to me. We
That.
wanted this
You
system
guys are
defunded.
backwards, bro. You're telling me that instead of a person that went to school to become a cop, we're going to get a felon that committed crimes instead.
I'm
To
telling you, I didn't want
you're
neither of those people
telling me
to
that
hold
criminal
office.
is the
Neither
better.
one.
The
The criminal is
problem is
nice.
we live in that whole two-party system thing,
That part,
and it's like, oh,
that's
you have
not
to
my
choose either
problem. That's
or.
not my fault.
That's
It shouldn't
that's the
be a one
issue.
or
It's
the
like,
other thing.
and
It shouldn't be this or that. It shouldn't be this evil or that evil. I should
let's
have
keep it
an
100
option.
too. If Kamala didn't have a uterus and she wasn't dark-skinned or whatever, she really has nothing for the country. Let's keep it 100. It's like you have to vote for her. She's a woman and she's black. Is she really black? It doesn't matter. She's a woman. You have to vote for her. It's
That
like,
it does feel like that a little
you
bit.
know,
But also, like,
She
would
had
I
Meg the
have liked
Stallion
to
on
see
stage too.
Kamala in office over Trump? Maybe. But I still think that it wouldn't have been. It would have still been a shit show. She still would
of
have
course.
she still would have done her job, met her quota, and been pressured to do shit that we would have been like, "What are you doing?"
Wait,
So,
what? Like, what exactly though? Because
what do
as
you
far
mean?
Like,
Like what? The
well,
Biden
dial it back. The
administration
whole
pretty much funded Israel and bombing little children this whole time.
Bombing
That's what.
the
That's
children.
they don't.
well, think about it
wasn't
when they brought in all the immigrants and stuff like that. But they gave them a social security, they gave them housing, they gave them all the resources that people who live in poverty have been asking for decades. And it's like right out there, here's a red carpet. So we know why you did that, because you're trying to garner votes and you're trying to replace the black community with the immigrant and migrant community. We know why you're doing that, but you're gonna play dumb in our face. It's like
Yeah,
I don't get that.
but yeah, I don't get this concept where like any politician who's at that high level of politics is sweating what the minorities think, other than keep them happy and content.
so
Just keep them
you
Yeah,
content.
that Kamala was gonna do more for immigrants than for black people.
hell yeah.
I'm not gonna say that at all. That's not what I said.
I'm hearing like
I'm
three different.
saying that. Hell yeah.
I'm
I'm saying
Let
that I would rather not have a president that's protecting the police force. That's what I think that system needs to be abolished. It needs to be defunded. And that's not where that was going. That was not the option they gave us. They gave us, no, you're going to have a police run country, pretty much. That's
So
how
we
I
got a
felt.
criminal run
But
instead.
now we have a criminal. But also, like I said, the pro to that is now we see the true colors of the government. These presidents are puppets. They're not in real control. They're controlled by their lobbyists. They're the people that have the money. You know what I mean? Like they're not in control. And Kamala would have just been another puppet. Like I love the idea of having a black woman president. I love that.
I
But she still would have just been another puppet, and she would have been a shadier puppet.
no, she wouldn't have. Honestly, I can't with
Yo,
all
like I said, stick with local politics,
like
Pete.
no.
Liz
I've done
Miranda does more for
the
minorities in
most
Massachusetts than
qualified
any government official in the world. It's
qualified
just
black
what it is.
and they have to go up. They have to go toe to toe with the least qualified white
And
person.
I
Just to be.
believe you. I
That's
believe
not
she's,
fair.
I know she's
It's not.
qualified. She's
It's not.
obviously qualified. However, she comes from a profession that I do not trust. I will never trust the police. Fuck the police. That has always been my MO. I
She's an
have
NWA fan.
never
Fact.
trusted police officers, and
That
I will never
that
trust them.
easy Latina.
Yeah, but I would rather have a police run this country than a criminal who's
They're
committing crimes as
the
he is.
same
What?
thing.
No, they're
I
not.
It's two
love you,
sides of
but
the
they
same
are the
coin.
same thing. But
I
Yeah.
don't
they're
know
the
where
same thing. They're both criminals.
you
They're over there covering up crimes for each
hey,
other. They're sending innocent people to jail. They're also criminals.
but
But
you have to really, Megan, when you talk about stuff like that, especially on this show that's going to be on YouTube and people have to regurgitate that,
mhm.
you have to make sure you come with legitimate facts. I can't let you just say that
See,
because that's how
the
you feel.
the
If you,
comments is going
that
over your head.
and
I don't say I don't
it's
see
not
what legitimate facts I need to say that not I'm not the only person in this country that does not trust police officers.
no, no, know
That's
that.
a very common
One thing,
thing
but
amongst
say that
people.
locking people up, I can't say that on record that that is a true
What do you
fact.
mean? They've definitely been locking up innocent black people for like years.
Ever.
That's
Forever.
happened. Forever.
It's
Thank
Right.
you.
been the
That's
agenda.
Never end.
happened. I follow multiple the fucking Central Park Five. Come on. What? That's huge. That's a huge thing. They've been locking up innocent
Do
black
you know
people
that
for
Trump
years.
to prosecute the Central Park Five people?
Yeah,
Like he was
he
trying.
wanted to
Yeah,
bring the death. He wanted
he
to bring the death
sucks.
To,
penalty
He's a
back. Yeah.
racist and he sucks. And I do remember that. I have been anti-Trump for years. I have been anti-Trump for years, but that does not mean that I have to be pro-government or pro
no,
Kamala
Kamala.
you
or that
And now
does
hold
not mean I
on. Now
have to.
with
have
that
to
said,
Kamala,
you
but I
can't
don't
be
want
pro-government. You gotta build your community.
lies
Period.
Yeah.
because the whole point of this is like to combat misinformation, not spread
I
misinformation.
don't
So
see how I'm spreading misinformation. That none of what I said was misinformed. I
um
don't see where the misinformed part was.
the whole part that she locked up black people, that's misinformation.
But
Yeah.
even he said that she was a part of it. It wasn't just her. She's doing her job. Yes.
Hmm.
But that's my point is a person just doing their job is not a person that just wants to get the job done, meets the quota, wants to do the thing, wants to impress the white man. That's not the person that I want to trust.
She actually wrote a book about how to go about handling people of color when pulling them over and stuff to bring it down that they don't get prosecuted that much. She was actually trying to like help bring that down. And she wrote a whole book about that other people can read so that way they can implement that when they're working as a police officer. Like how could she be so pro locking people up when she's writing books to teach people how to handle
Because
black?
the
She's a
bottom
law
line is like
enforcer.
there's extremes in life, right? So you can't technically work for law enforcement and as a person of color and feel like unless you're a defense attorney, there's no space in law enforcement you can work unless you're a cop who's actively making sure the cops don't act crazy. Like you work for the DA's office, you sending people to jail based on the systems wanting to send people to jail. So there has to be a flaw on your record as a minority. It's impossible not to, especially if you get to run for president levels, you playing the game.
Mm.
Like it just is what it is. Like you could go Google search all the nice things you want because I'm sure she's done some nice things because that's part of the game too. You
Absolutely.
can't
That
look
is
like
part of the game
Satan
for
and get
sure.
in office. You got
Well,
like it's all
we'll
part of the
come back.
game. But that goes back to my point. I don't understand why we as minorities keep having conversations about the president's choices when all of that can be washed out if we manage our community right. So if you hire your governors, your senators, your mayors, et cetera, then it's like Massachusetts. You look at all the politicians in Massachusetts is pushing back on Trump. They saying, yeah, send ICE here, whatever. Our police will help. They'll do what they do. That means no, you're not going to run through here and act crazy. Our police will help you, and then our police will manage how ICE does it. And that's the difference. Like you can't expect the federal government to care about anything but money and the functionality of the society, which means you keep all the people at the bottom cool so they don't go crazy and burn everything down. Outside of that, they're never the priority. That's why you keep people stupid
I,
so that they don't notice. Like America is the greatest country in the world because it hides impoverishment and poverty better than everywhere else.
Mm.
That's why it's the greatest country in the world because you can be poor here and I know you poor.
no, no, no. This
What you
country
mean? No,
country
no. Where you been?
is
What country you been to where the poor people in that country live better than America?
China.
Go ahead. Where?
China. China.
Saigon,
China. Yeah.
China.
China, you know,
Yeah,
China's
the
communist.
people we
I'm,
got beef with are the communists.
I'm
The
getting to
people we got
that.
beef with are the communists. But
I'm,
even in China,
who,
I've seen some
who
images of
really has
people living pretty bad.
China
The-
though? Is it us? Is it
huh?
us? Is it the U.S. government? Who? I hit the 1 hour mark. I really hate when that.
And then it cut off when I was saying what I felt like saying.
It cuts off at 60 minutes. But I just invited them back. Hopefully they come back. But yeah, like I was saying, that's what I'm gonna start talking about a lot more coming up is this whole like beefing with China and beefing with communist countries. Who fearmongers in us into believing that China is the enemy and that communist is
I
bad?
don't think they're the enemy. I said the money thinks it's the enemy.
The
Like
money?
like start looking at America as a pot of money. It's only money value. Like what do we bring to the table globally?
So I want you to think like which system really
Answer my
causes more
question
problems?
before you ask me what you want me to think. Why don't you just answer that real
What?
quick before you get to the thinking part? What do we offer the rest of the world financially? Like we get oil from another place. We
Tech,
what do we offer?
tech,
Huh?
innovation, tech and
China
innovation.
got us beat on that.
Huh?
China got us beat on that. So what do we offer better than anybody else?
I, I,
I mean, I
I
know what it is, but what do we offer better than anybody else?
that's what I'm trying to get at. You're gonna say freedom?
No.
What are you gonna say?
I'm gonna say entertainment.
Who's why is this like this corner like blacked out right now?
I don't know who that
Shobo,
is.
Shobo's in here, but it's blacked out. Are you there, Shobo?
He's in the Matrix.
Well, communists may be seemed as like a bad thing, but how was China able to rise from the dead in
What does
less
that mean?
than
Rise from
50
the
years?
dead.
They
What does that
rise,
mean?
China was like one of the poorest countries just 50 years ago, and now it's almost neck and neck with America. One of them is excelling, and one of them is declining. Can you guess?
Because they make their kids go to school and learn things that are relevant to excelling in life.
Yeah, they prioritize the economy, and we don't prioritize the economy
That's not
because of
the economy, though.
racism.
That's prioritizing your people's growth.
Yeah, that's the economy. They want to privatize. They want to privatize the schools here. The school system already sucks. With Trump, they want to make it even more shitty by getting rid of the public school and only giving it to private schools. So if you can't pay for private school, you ain't getting no education. So if we are already lacking with education to China, we're really about to fall tremendously back, like so bad. We're not even like number two. I think we're like in the 20s when it comes to education. Like we're not there with education at all. We don't prioritize education, and that's because of capitalism, because of Republicans thinking that if everything has to be purchased, every healthcare has to be purchased, schools you have to purchase that. Any like necessary thing, Republicans feel that no, it shouldn't be free to the public. Let's make them pay for it, and whoever can't afford it, screw them.
I mean,
That's not right.
in China, you got to be really smart, for real, or else screw
No,
you.
like you're trained
What
to be. You're
you mean?
trained.
There's no.
No, like you go to school. Like there is no like you gotta be smart. You train to be smart. You train in a certain way, in a certain pattern to be smart. They set you up for success.
How about
America sets up for
you act
failure.
like there's no lower class in China.
Let me hold on. But you're trying to like skip over what I just said though. You're not getting what
It's
I'm saying.
not
You
skipping
saying
over it.
who cares about
You're
their
acting like
citizens more?
because the system is
You do
named
know
differently, it's
like
different.
China doesn't have any homeless people, right?
Oh God, here we go.
You do know
You do know that.
have they have a system set in place that you could lose your license and your job if you don't act a certain way. They have a social system too, you know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's actually
Probably.
So
businesses that
why do
if you
you
don't
think that there's why do you think
before
that
you
there's
enter
no
your office.
homeless people
Your
in
phone
China knowing that?
your phone's freezing. Shobo.
Mine? Oh, let's try.
Your phone's uh
Yeah, like everywhere in the world, for the most part, except for like I seen there's some little small countries like Sweden and little random places where they don't have the same social structure because they're in a unique space. But the majority of the world, the economic system is the same.
what's the same? Capitalism?
A small portion of the society controls the wealth, and by default, they control the functionality of that.
A, a lot of people are choosing like socialism over capitalism because they're seeing that capitalism is not working. A lot of people are kept out of the benefits of capitalism, and that is what's causing homelessness, people dying from preventable
Yeah,
diseases.
but the only places that can successfully play out socialism at this point are little small countries, little small
Uh,
places like Sweden.
yeah, but all these countries have free healthcare. And when you talk about basic necessities, like that's the basic. Like, how do we not have free healthcare? And we're supposed to be the leader of the world, but yet we don't have free healthcare. But all these other countries that are smaller than us have free healthcare. That says a lot about the greed in this country.
Yeah,
It's holding us back. And those are the same people that try to fearmonger us into believing that communism is a bad thing. socialism is a bad thing. Socialism just means that it's just a fair balance of wealth distributed to everyone. That's it. And they don't believe in that because they want to hoard all the money for themselves and leave whoever can't get it to die. And that's not right. We're really just being conned because they dangle this one billionaire that made it in front of us and just sell us a dream that we have a very slim to none chance of actually attaining. That's how capitalism is designed, is for the majority of the people to continue working their ass off and never ever getting close to being rich. And once in a while, there's one that gets through, and then we're supposed
Yeah,
to
I mean, but that's
rest of our.
pretty much everywhere though.
No, that's not everywhere. A lot of countries are living comfortably with really good
Who?
health care, really good education,
Who?
really good
What
food security.
country?
A, a lot of them. We would.
You keep saying a lot. I just asked you which
All
one.
right. Which question is it? Healthcare?
No, I don't care about who has free healthcare. I'm saying you saying these people are living these great lives where they don't have to bust their ass and work hard. Like all of these sentiments were like across the world,
Yeah. Australia,
there's poverty.
uh, Switzerland, the whole Europe is they all have free healthcare and education. Canada
Yeah,
has
but
free
the
healthcare.
UK has the hood. The Europe has the hood. They got poor people still. What are we talking about?
What do you mean?
They still
They
got
have
poor. They still got the same problems in the UK that we have here, except they got free healthcare and they don't put chemicals in their meat and shit, so they don't need the healthcare as much as we do. You say like,
no.
what
That's not
you mean?
true.
No.
That's not true. They care more about
How?
the health of
How do you come to that generalized like?
chemicals in their food tells you about their morals. They care
I
about the
mean,
people.
they still have poor
They care
people. They
about
still got homeless people.
their
They still got drug addicts. They still got all the same problems we got.
they I'm trying to add Shovel back in. I don't know, Megan's not answering. But anybody else want to join? I'm about to be off in like 15 minutes. I really hate when it just like does that. Anyway, I'm so mad. I wanted them to be here because I really wanted to touch base on some shit. I'm gonna look up right now how many countries have free healthcare and
Yeah.
education. Because these are just basic necessities. What the reason we don't have it is just appalling. It's absolutely disgusting that we don't have that.
We didn't
And
have
it's
it with
all because of
Democrats in office. We didn't have it with Republicans in office. We ain't never had it.
yeah, but it's because people can't agree. And when the
But states have it. Massachusetts got mass health.
yeah, but that's still not
Oh, so that's my point. Like,
mass
stop.
health.
The
Obamacare.
state of
You know,
Massachusetts does it differently.
that's Obamacare, right?
Okay. They still do it though,
I
right?
want you to know, like, just because it's a state name, you have to realize that it's still federally funded through Obamacare. Yes, it is. They just
Cool.
changed it to
They didn't get rid of it.
that Trump is trying to get rid of it. We're gonna be screwed if we get rid of it. A lot of people are gonna just drop dead.
A
You
lot of
know,
people got
even
dropped.
already went up.
I
Why
hear you.
would they?
Listen, at the end of the day, I'm not disagreeing that what they're doing is foul. What they're doing is foul. But aside from that, it forces people to step up their game and change. Which is what it is.
I get that it helps people step up their game, but there's always going to be a lot of people who are going to be hurt by this. And
It's
for people to
people.
just not have any like empathy for them, that's sick.
I
That's
mean,
really
but that's
sick.
what I mean. Yeah, America's a melting pot. So if you have the empathy conversation and want to have and think that you're gonna come to a conclusion where the money should go in regards to people's empathy, then you're gonna have a hard ass time figuring that out.
Well, the only thing
Black
that sets
people,
it apart,
Israel, Pakistan, like you could go down the list of things that people are sentimentally tied to that they think you should put focus on.
No, it's not just sentimentally tied to. We're talking about millions of people being affected by this. So it's not something little. A lot of people will be affected
There's
by this.
millions of people being affected in the shit going on in Israel and Gaza.
Yeah, and Trump is making that worse. He's trying to tell the Palestinians to get the
This
fuck
is
out.
you missed the point. This is my point. In America,
Mhm.
there's hundreds and thousands of people, if not millions, who are concerned about that more than anything you've mentioned in this conversation.
So what does that mean? What is that?
That
What is that?
means that that's why it's kind of like an endless conversation in America to try to figure out how you're going to
Just
put
because
federal funds in
it's
play.
in
That's
Israel right now,
why you have to
when
focus on your local politicians because your local politicians are the ones that battle for you when the federal politicians are trying to put things in play. So like that's why you vote for the local person and you make sure the local person thinks about all these things that you're talking about because in reality,
honestly, these executive orders, the only reason why they haven't hit is because he's been losing in court because of Democratic judges that have
right.
been put block on
And
these.
that's what I'm saying. All of those that starts from local politics. That's not a federal political
No,
game. You don't vote for it.
these are federal judges. These are
Yeah,
federal
but
judges
they're
that
voted. Who puts federal judges in office?
the president.
Every single one of them.
Yes, and Biden put over 230 federal judges right before he left because of this exact reason.
Good job, then Biden.
And he put a lot of black judges on purpose.
Great. So then they're doing their job.
They
So
are.
then at the end of the
We'd
day,
be in a frenzy right now if these judges weren't blocking these things. These executive orders that he attempted to do would be causing way more damage than it has already has, but they blocked it. And they're trying to block Elon and he's just not fucking listening. So I don't know, but I still don't feel comfortable with Elon messing with our information. He could pull that up at any time in the future and be like, "Oh, what's your name?" and just search us up and know everything about us.
yeah,
Like, how do you feel about that?
he could make the Tesla drive wherever it wants to, but people still bought them.
A lot of people,
Because
that's another
people
thing
are
that's
pretty stupid.
stock markets.
People
A lot
are
of people
okay with
selling their
the
Teslas,
person in charge telling them what to do.
huh?
Most people are okay with the person in charge telling them what to do
What are you trying to
in
say?
general.
People are okay with an unelected person being,
Who's unelected?
is people are okay with that? No.
No, I'm not saying they're all okay with it. I'm saying most people in general are okay with whoever's in charge telling them what to do.
No, no, they're not. There's a lot of massive protests going on right now. I don't know if you've seen it,
Yeah,
but
why would you have to? Okay, so this is my question. If
a
most
lot of,
people didn't do what they're told, right?
huh?
If most people didn't do what they're told, then all these things that Trump's trying to execute won't happen.
He's
Like
trying.
to me, it's a test for society. So like I'm watching the state of Massachusetts tell Trump whatever, like kiss my ass. We do what we do.
Hmm.
I'm watching that happen. Other states, like the lady in Maine who got cussed out because she said da 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 and he da 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 da. She's standing up for how she feels. That's how people respond.
Yeah,
That is the reality of what we live in right now.
but
You have to see how people respond. So the people that have to put it in play. So Uncle Sam can say, we're going to cut your federal funding if you don't do this. Then the reality of your community is we're going to hide it from them so we can still get the money and we can still do it the way we want. That's how, why do you think we still got sundown towns in America? Do you think the crackers in Eastern Kentucky care that they want black people to feel comfortable everywhere? No, they don't. And that's why it's still called a sundown town in 2025.
the
They still got sundown town.
the thing is, like, the whole, like, Massachusetts is a very democratic state. So yeah, everything seems normal there. But in red states, they are in a frenzy right now. Yeah, they voted for Trump. Yeah, they voted for Republican, and they're eating that. They're eating their words right now. It's sad, and like, okay,
Yeah,
we
the
cannot.
poor white people and the Spanish people that voted for Trump are eating their
Yeah,
words for sure.
but does that make it okay? No,
What do you
and
mean? I mean, no, it's not okay, but
it doesn't
I'm just saying
with Trump and Elon. is doing is still not okay. He's trying to inflict harm on millions of people, and we like the judges have been slowing him down, but some things are going to get passed because the Republicans are the majority right now, and the Supreme Court is super red, so they're gonna probably stand with Trump on some issues, and everybody's saying there's gonna be that one thing, that one executive order that he absolutely wants to get through the Supreme Court, and if they side with it, it's going to have detrimental effects.
Are you gonna have a breakdown? Are you
Huh?
gonna have a breakdown when that happens?
Depends on what it is.
You might have a breakdown.
What does my personal reaction have to do with
Because
it?
because my entire life on this earth, they've been passing bills and doing this and doing that, and as a functioning person, you got to adjust. Because in reality, I'm not in politics. I'm not a politician. You're not a politician. We're civilians in the political sphere. So all we can do is try to vote for the right people starting in our community. So like
I,
if you live in a place where they all of a sudden they're burning the black books in front of the school, you either need to move or you and the black people in that community need to go to that school and put some order into effect.
are you that type of person that's going to go to that school and
Yeah.
do that? Move.
I would, yeah. Like, luckily, my kids don't go to that school. My son's about to graduate. So, no, I'm not doing that for your 8-year-old. No, that's not my life priority. But
But I'm saying if you was in that circumstance,
yeah, hell yeah. Why wouldn't
I don't know. But my
I?
point is,
That's the point. The whole point is there's too many people who want somebody to come save them when they are in that space. They want Uncle Sam and the government to send the police to stop them from burning the books. That's just not real. Like you don't live in America as an educated minority if you think that's real.
I don't get, you just making it seem like, well, it just is what it is type of attitude, and I can't really fall for that because if we
I
all had
mean, it's
mentality,
not a is what it is attitude. It's a is what it is about what it is.
yeah, but if we all had that mentality that it don't concern me, so I shouldn't care, we would all be fucked because thank God there are
How?
people that
No,
care.
no, it's not. But that's a wild generalization. Meaning, like, it don't concern me means that when you step outside your house and you see your neighbor getting shot up, then you still think it don't concern you. You're bugging. But if you go outside your house, you still have your job. There's nobody burning the books at your kid's school. There's no KKK march down your street. Then you are doing your job as far as what you can do as that's one civilian.
Okay, but that doesn't make it okay to what's happening around you. Just because you didn't get fired doesn't mean people in your neighborhood didn't just lose their job. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
there's
Like
people that's working for the federal government that got
a
fired for
lot of
sure.
people got fired, and a lot of people that were DEI hires for
But
any
that's
type
what
of.
I'm saying. If you work for a company as a DEI hire and they're not restructuring the title of your position and actually what you do, then that means that company is foul.
It's
Then your
not about
community shouldn't support that company.
it's not just about rewording stuff. Like they can literally just go see the quota. Like how many black people did we hire last year? Okay, fire like 10% of that, and then anybody that's black gets fired. Like it's not just about the name. They can see who's black. They can see who's brown, whatever you want to call it. You know, and the fact that he's already caused this much havoc in 30 days. We're supposed to be going through this for the next 4 years. There's planes falling out of the fucking sky every week, almost every day. The
I
day,
mean, listen, I get it, but like to me, if all of a sudden everybody in the black community buys black owned products and not white by default, because they all their friends that work for Target lost their job, and all of a sudden, somebody's aunt makes the same white T-shirts that Target makes, and you got to buy those from her, and then you got to shop at your local hood spot to get everything you need. That's not a bad thing.
okay, I know that's not a bad thing to buy local. I that's exactly what I was gonna get into. Is that with the Vision to Action project, I'm going to be trying to like figure out a way to like circulate the black dollar that sticks in the black businesses pretty
It,
much.
They got
I
an app that has all the black businesses on it.
hmm?
They got an app. They got all the black businesses on
Yeah. So I'm gonna start small with like Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and start small with this like a voucher type of thing, like a coupon type of thing that you buy the coupons and you can use it at any black owned business, and it keeps the money within those black businesses. You see what I'm saying? It's like a voucher program, but for black owned businesses. So I've been doing my research about that, and it doesn't really it's really not that hard to implement at all. It's really,
it.
and there's actually
Good idea.
that are like already doing that right now. And the thing about those type of like ideas is that even when the economy is crashing, that neighborhood, that program, they actually still do well, even when the economy is crashing, by doing that, by
No
making
matter
sure.
who's in office, they do well.
Hmm?
No matter who's in office, you can do it too.
Yeah, exactly. No matter in
Mm.
office, and it's not illegal, as long as it's as a voucher or a gift card type of thing, and it's 1-to-1 to the US dollar. So, I mean, I'm really mad that the video cut off because I wanted to get to that point. But we'll talk about it in the next one. We'll
Yeah,
talk about it.
going to eat. Holler back.
All right. Well, thank you for coming. I'll probably go live at the end of the week. It's like what, today's Monday?
Yep.
Yeah, so if you're available, maybe Thursday night. I'm probably gonna go live Thursday night or Friday night.
See
So,
what up.
no.
Come,
All right. Good night.
I come troll.
Like you do, like you
Yeah,
always do.
right. Y'all niggas
If
be silly.
somebody knows where Justin's at, tell him it's okay to come back.
That's your man's.
No,
He's mad 'cause I pulled his card.
he's mad.
Yeah, he's mad.
I don't know
He's a
what.
school shooter. You gotta chill out. They used to be your boo.
No, those not. I don't date him. I don't.
You used to.
I did. I never dated him. No, I used to date him like 10 years ago. 10 years ago.
How you go from never to used to 10 years ago? You gotta figure yourself out.
That it wasn't right now. That it wasn't
Don't
right
matter.
long
Any
after.
time in life counts.
Huh?
Any time in life counts.
Nah, it was so quick. It was like a month. Like it wasn't even. It wasn't even long enough to be considered anything serious.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what his problem is. But anyway, the show must go on.
Holla back.
All right. Good night.